It's been a long while. I've been all over doing all sorts of interesting fun things and being sick and dealing with the summer and all of that. So welcome back. Where should we go? I turned all this on for a special reason because there's a real thing I want to get into here. But first of all, let's just clear some of this screen. Let's clear the screen so that I can tear off the paper. We're on a Unix machine. This is annoying me, this Unix machine that I'm connected to. So I'm going to change it. Now, there's a long saga about that. The machine that we're... Okay, let's rewind and draw the picture for the people who might be new, or because I haven't said this for a little while. This is a 1969 teletype Model 33 ASR computer terminal. Now, unlike computers these days, this is not a computer, it's just the input keyboard and the output. And the output is not a screen, it's a print terminal, so it's a hard copy terminal. Dates from 1969, 1970. So it's all mechanical. It has a printer and a keyboard. So we can type things here, and they come out on the printer. And there it is. It also has a paper tape punch and a tape reader so that we can store programs on tape. And actually there's an important program I want to write on tape later, but maybe we'll do that. Now this is connected to a computer because it's a terminal. In the good old days, the computer would be in a different building, maybe, certainly in a different room, because the computer had took up lots of space. The computer right now is 2 feet from the machine, and it is a... can I show you this close enough? I can't really get there into the field of view. Yeah, no, I could move the camera, but anyway, it's a Google Coral, which is like a Raspberry Pi style sized machine that was built for machine learning, and it's a pain in the butt. Or it's become that way for reasons that I should explain. So it's connected over a current loop to a serial to a USB interface to the computer. Now, what are we going to do with such a thing? Well, it's a terminal connected to a computer. The computer's running Unix. You can do whatever you like. The next thing that I've been doing across the summer, I'm going to move the camera zoom out a little bit. Here's my little workshop area. This is at the Brickyard Collaborative in Lynn, Massachusetts, and I have a little thing here. I'm printing out some emoji prints ready to ship from my Etsy store, and I have some green bar paper with some dot matrix printout on it, and that comes from this machine here. Now this machine is a deck writer. It is a digital deck writer 3. Now this is another computer terminal, but it's from 1978. Instead of 1969, it's from a decade later. No, maybe even later than that. It might be like 81, 82. It has this beautiful LED thing, and that's up on local. You can You can see it has a beautiful LED counter. It has a nice keyboard that's exactly the same as the VT102 or the VT101 100 kind of series, and it prints dot matrix text on green bar paper. If I open the lid, then you can see the mechanism. The mechanics of this are super simple, because all of the things that are mechanical on the teletype got replaced with electronics. So down in the basement of this thing, there's a whole load of electronics that runs the terminal. So if you had a PDP-8, then you probably have one of these connected to it. If you have a PDP-11, 10 years later, you probably have a bunch of these connected to it. So my frustration with the Google Coral device story is all about that, because zoom back in, move that thing out of the way a little, because what happened was I tried to plug it in. I got this deck writer. It's a computer terminal. It uses RS-232. So let's get a RS-232 DB9, or there's another one, to USB adapter, and so there's USB at the other end of these cables, and buried inside of the DB9 piece, there are two of these. They're two different chips. One's FTDI and the other is something or other. And I plug them in to this little Google Coral Raspberry Pi style thing, and it doesn't work. It just simply doesn't detect it. And that's because the kernel is shipped without all of the drivers that you might reasonably expect a modern, like, general purpose machine to have. And I couldn't be bothered trying to rebuild them, because it's just like, life's too short. I can't even plug in a serial computer terminal to this thing without it like needing me to rebuild kernel drivers. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to swap out the local host, and that's a little project, and I haven't finished it yet. But that'll wait. Now, meantime, let's see what's going on here. I mean, this is a Unix machine. It's uppercase only, so that has some little frustrations associated with it, but that's okay, generally. We can get by. I can type commands and they're interpreted as lowercase, because there's some special stuff that switches them. But what are we going to do here? I've been connecting to machines, like connecting to old emulators and old real machines and so on. But I want to now connect to the news. And to connect to the news, I'm going to show you a little thing on the browser. So somewhere out here, I have a browser. And let me see, can I set up my video to show you it? Yeah. Okay, here's a browser. Internet TTY. There is a part of the history of these teletype machines is that they were used for news. They were the main communication vehicle for electronic distribution of news stories, as well as kind of one-to-one communications, etc. Now, that would all use radio-teletype or RTTY, and radio-teletype is basically a frequency shift encoding of the binary ons and offs of the serial signal. In other words, when there's a bit, then it has one frequency, and when there's no bit, then it has another frequency. let's see if I can get you to hear some of this on the signal by I don't know how I do that.